Bros, stop comparing yourself to other men. Everyone's path is different. Focus on yourself and what you need to do to improve your life and stop comparing yourself to others. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew, and today I'm going to be talking about how to stop comparing yourself to others, right? This is a big topic amongst people in general, not just men, but just people in general, and more so because of the era that we're currently living in with social media. Everybody posts on social media their life, whether it's fake or real, right? But everybody posts, and we all like to watch and indulge, but some of us can't help ourselves to compare. Let's dive into it, guys. When we compare ourselves to other people, it can lead to insecurity, feeling insecure, and getting anxious, right? So, point in case. So let's look, for example, at a guy the same age. So I'm gonna use two guys 30 years old, right? Guy number one, 30 years old, master's degree, drive a BMW, lives in a really nice house. He's comfortable, take vacation every year, blah, 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 right? He's comfortable. Guy number two, 30 years old as well, but he's struggling, only has a high school level education, makes about $15 per hour. He's ambitious, but at the moment, this is his current situation, right? So guy number two is easy. It's if he's comparing himself to guy number one, right? He's going to be looking at the physical things, the materialistic things, the car, the house, etc. And he's going to be looking at those things as a measure of success, right? Oh, you drive a nice car, you live in a nice house, you live in a nice neighborhood. Okay, you must be successful. But oftentimes what we don't see is the backstory, right? We don't see what took place many years before to allow this guy to be in the current position that he is, right? In both cases, right? In both cases, everyone's journey is different. And that is something that we ought to keep in the back of our minds. My journey is different from yours, and yours is absolutely different from mine, right? So say, for example, this country, America, right? Some people, for example, someone that was born here in a good family, right? A family that is financially comfortable or even financially well off. That person gets to go to school, high school, move on to college, and then eventually, start their career, and, they got a good little head start, and they can just continue to build upon that. Their parents laid out that foundation. Compare that to someone who came from another country. So you're 30 years old. Let's just say that you came to America at 25. And from back home, wherever you came from, you were just living and surviving, right? You weren't really thriving. You was just surviving. You are ambitious, but you lack the opportunities to take your life to the next level. Now you're here in America. You are exposed to different opportunities. You have the means to elevate your life. It just takes some time. This guy, the immigrant, 30 years old, at 30 doesn't have a degree. Doesn't mean that he's not ambitious or he doesn't want to be educated. It just simply means that maybe because of the trajectory of his life, he has to prioritize survival over education, right? Whereas guy number one, born and raised in America, was exposed to all these opportunities from the get-go, took advantage of those opportunities, and now here he is thriving and succeeding in his life. That doesn't mean he's better than you. That doesn't mean you're less than him. But if you go about comparing yourself, looking at his life versus yours and comparing yourself, of course you're going to feel somewhat insecure, somewhat less than, and feel as though he's better than you. And that's why we don't compare ourselves to others. Now, if two people were born and brought up in the same set of circumstances, were given the same set of opportunities, one took full advantage of those opportunities and the other one didn't, and you're going to compare yourself to the one that did because you didn't, that's a little bit of a different conversation to have, right? That's a little bit different. You probably should compare yourself and you probably should feel some type of way because you were afforded the same opportunity that the other person was afforded. The difference is that they took advantage of theirs and you didn't, right? But that's different. That's not what we're talking about today, right? So instead of comparing, let's focus on our own growth. Let's focus on the progress we're making and be confident in that, right? It's like going to the gym. You're a 160-pound skinny dude, right? You just started your gym journey, right? You go to the gym, you see these guys, probably younger than you, built, buff, strong, right? And you're not there yet. That's kind of what you aspire to be or become, right? Don't compare yourself to them. You're just getting started out on your journey. These guys have probably been doing this all their life, right? Or at least all their adult life, right? You can't compare yourself. And if you do, you're doing yourself a disservice. What you need to do instead, you can use that as a reference point, right? Anyone that is seemingly doing better than yourself, use it as a reference point. So instead of looking at it and say, oh man, my life sucks because I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not this, I'm not that, right? Instead of saying that, you look at it and say, man, I like that guy's BMW. I like that. I'm definitely going to get one of those eventually one day, right? Or yeah, this dude, you know, his physical structure is what I aspire to be. Like, I want to be as strong as him. And so therefore, I'm going to continue doing my part. I'm going to continue working out, continue eating right, etc., so I can, you know, become that physical person that I'm trying to become, right? So instead of comparing, use that as a reference point, something to aim for, something to aspire to become, rather than to compare and diminish your own light. Because a lot of times when you're making those strides and you're gaining progress and you're getting better, you don't see it if you're comparing. It's hard to see that progress if you're comparing. Shut that out. Focus on yourself, focus on your progress, and let that be what drives you, the progress you've made, the incremental improvement that you've gained, and not what someone else got going on. That should not concern you, all right? The next point is the fact that confidence comes from self-improvement and not competition, right? Just talk about that. Keep that validation internal, right? You should not rely on external validation to give you what you need to keep going. Validate yourself. If you start going to the gym 2 weeks ago and you started out lifting 20-pound dumbbells and 2 weeks later you're now lifting 25-pound dumbbells, instead of looking at the guy next door that's doing 60, look at the progress you've made. You just got started and you went from 20 to 25. Look at that. Let that be what drives you, with that knowing in the back of your mind that as long as you continue on that path, you're going to increase the amount that you can lift, and you're going to eventually get better. You're going to start seeing those results even more pronounced, right? That's what we need to do, is to appreciate and embrace the progress that we're making based upon the actions we've taken, rather than to compare ourselves to others and what they got going on, right? Everybody's journey is different. Keep that in the back of your mind. Everybody's journey is different. They're not all the same. And as long as you keep that in your mind and you make your decisions and you live your life based upon that principle, you are going to see the difference. You're going to start to see those incremental changes, and that will make you feel a lot better about yourself, because you are now embracing the progress, you're seeing the progress, and you're appreciating the progress rather than to look at someone else and compare yourself. Furthermore, in this day and age, social media is full of lies and facade. There's so many people on social media showing this wonderful, glorious life and showing all these things that they're doing, and it's fake. A lot of that is fake, because with good editing and with proper planning, people who do content creation, all they got to do is plan. I can go rent a Bugatti, well, maybe not a Bugatti, but I could probably go rent a Bentley or a G-Wagon, right? Even if it costs me like $1,000 a day, I could go rent one, rent a house in a rich neighborhood, for example, or like Airbnb, and I can plan really well and have 10 to 15 different outfits and use that 24 hours to shoot a bunch of content, a whole bunch of content, and I can repeat that process and I can post it on the internet, and you're gonna see that and you're gonna be like, man, he got a G-Wagon, or he has a Bentley, and blah blah blah. No, I don't. I rented it, but you don't know that, right? Because that's what social media does, and that is why we do not compare ourselves to others. We embrace the progress that we're making, and we continue to grow. We can use other people as a reference point, but we don't compare. All right. If you're one of those people or individual who likes to compare yourself or feel insecure because you feel like you're not where you need to be as compared to someone else about your same age or same background, stop doing that. Stop doing that. As long as you're putting in the work, as long as you're taking a step forward each day, that's what should matter. Embrace your progress, embrace your effort, and keep going. All right. I hope you took some value from this one, guys. And as always, let's continue to grow, evolve, and transform into the best version of ourselves. Peace. Please remember to like this video, share, and subscribe to the channel so I can continue delivering these gems.